asked that previous question, it brings me back to the beginning of working with Steve, which really started with, I got diagnosed, which now that diagnosis has changed to Lyme disease, but 25 years ago with chronic fatigue immune dysfunction. I didn't know what was happening. All the tools I had available for me, and I had considerable tools from the work I did, I still was, I couldn't work the way I did. So my whole life changed. And I didn't know, I was grappling. I wasn't, my trajectory about what I would be and doing in life completely changed. I was working very hard to get well. But when I met Steve, just first of all, I didn't meet him in the context of the work, the work that he does, but I just met him. And there was quite a bit of something, the way he was just present with me. I just looked at me and he was just really present. He started to share himself and he started to cry a little bit. And there was such an availability of deep emotion and being that something in me just felt like, like there was something I could drop into that I never dropped into before. And then I discovered the work that he does, which, Gestalt therapy, and then he worked with Fritz Perls, who invented Gestalt therapy. And I knew the word Gestalt because it means wholeness. And that he worked with somebody that had worked with Wilhem Reich. He was the father of all the body therapies. And what I really loved about this, it was everything I had done felt like you can talk, but this wasn't about talking. Yes, you have to talk, but this was about getting access to what maybe language didn't have access for. And discovering things that were there, that were kind of blocking my freedom, my happiness. Not that I had anything like majorly unhappy. It was more like about a depth of something. And something, I don't share this that often with people, but one of the things that was there for me since I was young that I kind of conquered, and it was that I was for 3 years, and I was bulimic, which is an eating disorder, right? But I didn't know it was an eating disorder. I just thought I invented it, for God's sake. At that time, that's how long ago it was. So it was always something I was managing, and then sometimes when this kind of compulsiveness of eating would show up, I would just bear it. Just like bear it, and just like manage it for some days. So I do a session with Steve while this is happening. I'm not even looking for help with this. It's like in the background in a way that I just manage it. But the level of depth of work with the Gestalt therapy, and my understanding of Gestalt is there's parts of us that they're just not integrated. They've never seen the day of light where there's some understanding about them. So we started to work, and there were definitely emotions and things that I didn't even know were there. But what was most surprising after this session, it was gone. Like gone. Like I was like, what? Like the compulsion that I just was going to live with forever. And from time to time, that compulsive thing comes back. And each time I get tricked, and I used to get tricked like this, just the way it is. Then Steve will go, okay, well, and we start all of a sudden just doing some work. And ultimately, there's always underneath it some emotional component. Anger that I don't know is even there. Maybe even rage that I've just accepted, like I accept this situation or accept that situation, move forward with those situations. Maybe something I didn't like, but that's maybe okay for me, Cindy, the intellect. But some aspect of Cindy was not okay with that situation and never got to express it, like a little kid might express it. So it stayed and it worked itself out into this compulsive thing. So just doing that kind of deep work has, that's just one thing where this freedom I wasn't expecting was there. But it's really helped me, Victoria, navigate my well-being. It's been 20-something years of navigating this and getting more well and getting more well. If that is correct English, I don't know more Anyway, but that's the way it's going. But there's feelings of isolation sometimes, or all kinds of things to deal with to not get lost. A lot of people that have dealt with what I've dealt with end up really messed up, psychologically, physically, the amount of isolation, the amount of different things that can happen. And I feel quite mostly vibrant in life. So that's the other really thing I didn't expect from the work with Steve. I knew about I started to know and about the emotional work and getting these things that you don't even know are there, but they're affecting you. But then to get access to living in a vibrancy that you don't even know is available, that's been the biggest treasure of working with Steve, because this where these things are more integrated, and now there's some quality of your own being that you can feel that's connected, and it's available, and it's vibrant, and that's the piece of the work that's not so much like a therapy, but like really, he says, the diamond that you are. So it's like getting the stuff out of the way for the diamond that you are. But that's a good analogy for me, because it feels that way. It feels like, you mean this is who I am? It's this amazing? Amazing, not like because I've got something, I've earned something. Amazing just the way it is. It only reminds me when I see a little baby and they're just amazing. That whatever there is, it's just like, whoa, that's what I'm experiencing. And not every day, not every minute, but the more I know that's there, the more I can connect into that. It makes the quality of my life night and day different. Sometimes he says bravery, but I think maybe even before that, it's that you want more. I don't mean more stuff just in life, but you want more of what's of you, of what's possible within yourself. You want that. You want that level of a rich life experience with yourself. So I think that's one thing, that you want that. And I think another thing is there's a lot of people that are very afraid, and I've at times been afraid of, they're afraid of their emotions, they're afraid of, so there has to be some willingness to be like, and it's so safe, it's interesting to be so afraid of it. It's like an access to something really incredible. And the more you work with it a little bit, the more you're like, oh, I want to find more. But you do have to be not backed up, like, I can't go there, won't go there, can't do that. Like if you have a real rigidness about that, then there's not going to be an opening to go in and to go deeper. Also, and this might not be everybody, but I think if you want to do something in life that you feel is beyond what you have, something's missing, it's beyond what you feel you have, I know that the freedom you get from this kind of unleashes you. So if you have something you want to get happening in life, you make music, you might be, make something happen in the world, be a leader. A lot of that has to do with how much you are free within your own self. Are you going to be a great singer if part of you is closed off, part of you is, you're going to be a great leader if you're rigid in this way, or if you're even afraid, you're even afraid to put yourself out there. And then it does take a little discipline. There's a lot of people that want quick, like they think I should do this thing wrong, I should do something once and fix something. It's a fixing mentality. Something's wrong, let me fix it. And this is really an investment of time, of growth of your own being. And it took a long time for most of us to kind of get that being to be closed down. Because if you look at little kids, and you'll hear Steve say this all the time, they're not. Most of them are not. So it took many years. So it really takes an investment of time. You can't be in for like the quick thing. But it feels so powerful along the way. It ends up being like, yeah, I'll do this. But at the beginning, you might not have that reality. You might think, I want to just fix this thing and get on. That's not this. That won't be this. That won't be the right person or the right frame of mind. Anybody can be the right person, I think, with the right frame of mind of what they are doing. I'm just noticing, I don't know if I'm even holding it back a little, but I'm so moved by what this is as a possibility. It's not an is, but us and people, and having other people be able to be as this free, that it's just really, really, you know, I could almost just cry for a long time, but now that I said that, I won't. Now everything goes, don't do it for, which if I just don't let that go. But anyway, I'm just kind of, I don't want to make it unbelievable by saying how great it is, because, you know, because people might think, oh my God, nothing could be that great. So I'm trying to like just down it a little bit, but it's really that great.